I have a problem. Last weekend, I spent 4 straight hours doing chores in a mobile game for a reward worth absolutely nothing in the real world. I could have learned to play the ukulele. I could have done my taxes. Instead, I farmed mushrooms for a dragon that doesn't care about me. Why? Because the game told me I had to, and it felt important. That, my friends, is the entire experience of modern gaming today. If you think you're just playing for fun, you're wrong. They tell you the game is free. It's not. You're inside a billion-dollar psychological maze built by people who know more about your brain chemistry than your therapist. So let's expose all of them. 1. Daily streak. This is the oldest trick in the book, yet it still works like a charm. They don't need you for 10 hours straight. They need you for 30 minutes every single day. They don't want you to log in whenever you feel like it. They want to engineer a habit out of you clicking their app every single day. So they use daily login bonuses and daily quests. You start playing for fun, but within a week, you're logging in at 11:58 p.m. just to tap a button and collect some digital reward you don't even need, feeling a weird sense of accomplishment while you do it. They are engineering your compulsion one tiny, worthless daily reward at a time. 2. Time skip. You're playing a mobile game and you need 100 wood. The game says you can wait 20 minutes or you can watch a 30-second ad for a time skip. You watch the ad because you figure you're saving time, which you are, but you're spending attention. You've traded your time for their money. Now, they know you were willing to watch repetitive advertising for the smallest possible in-game progress, and they can keep upping the difficulty knowing you'll watch another ad. 3. Foot trap. The first purchase is the hardest purchase. That's why they use the foot trap, based on the foot in the door principle. They hit you with a ridiculously high value, ridiculously cheap starter pack, like 99 cents for enough currency to buy something cool. The goal isn't profit. The goal is to break the spending barrier. Once you've spent that 99 cents, you've crossed a massive mental line. You're no longer a free player, you're a paying customer. And every subsequent purchase is exponentially easier because the hardest part, swiping the card for the first time, is already done. 4. Energy barrier. The most insulting one is the energy barrier. Oh, you want to play a second match? Sorry, you're out of energy. Wait 4 hours or pay us $1.99 for a full refill. This mechanism limits your ability to engage with the core gameplay loop unless you pay. It weaponizes your momentum, turning your desire to keep playing into a direct purchase prompt. It transforms a fun activity into a metered service, training you to equate continuous enjoyment with microtransactions. It's like a bully holding your ball until you pay the toll. 5. Fake currency. Remember when games cost dollars? Now they cost gems or V-Bucks or shiny dust, and you can only buy these in weird, non-round bundles. By forcing you to buy one currency, like $20 worth of gems, and then you use the gems to buy coins, and then you use the coins to buy a booster, you're 3 steps removed from the real money you put in, from your wallet. By the time you've converted the dollar bill into 3 different types of glitter, you stop thinking, I'm spending $20 on a skin, and start thinking, I'm just spending $7.99 free coins. Your brain has lost track of the actual value, so the $20 purchase feels like it cost $0. 6. Grind wall. At some point, the game goes from fun progression to pure pain. You're leveling up every hour, unlocking cool stuff, you feel like a god. Then, around level 20, the game suddenly slows down to a crawl. You need 10 times the materials, the enemies are sponges, and your progress bar barely moves. You realize you now have 2 choices. Spend 40 miserable, repetitive actions doing the same 5 actions, or you can spend a crisp $9.99 to buy the resource pack that gets you right back to the fun part. They didn't accidentally miscalculate the difficulty curve. It's manufactured frustration. They've made the free path so miserable that the pay-to-skip option, which they call a shortcut, suddenly looks like an act of self-care. It's not about balancing the game, it's about monetizing your impatience. 7. Piggy bank. It's an in-game vault that fills up based on how much you play, but you can't open it until you pay a small fee. The piggy bank is a direct exploit of the endowment effect, the cognitive bias where you overvalue things you feel you own or have earned. The game is saying, look at all this stuff you earned, it's yours! Well, technically it's ours and you can have it for a $4.99. You feel like you're buying a discount on something you already created, not spending money on an item you don't actually possess yet. You're literally paying to unlock your own effort. 8. Effort erosion. After you've played for 6 months, the game secretly slows down your non-paid progress. Effort erosion is the trap where the developers degrade the efficiency of your free effort over time to make the paid shortcuts increasingly appealing. That upgrade that used to take 2 hours of farming now takes 10. Or the rare drop rate is stealth nerfed. The game doesn't get better with money, the free experience simply gets strategically worse until the purchase feels less like a splurge and more like a mandatory quality of life subscription. 9. Random reward. This is the gaming industry's version of a slot machine where the player is rewarded after an unpredictable number of attempts. But instead of cash, you're gambling with your money for a picture of a digital cartoon character. The odds are always terrible, but the game has this little glowing bar that says pity counter, promising you a rare pull after 99 failed attempts. Every time you get a common item, you don't feel disappointment, you feel closer to the rare one. It turns the simple act of opening a digital chest into a high-stakes, flashing, emotionally charged gambling event. All so you can possibly, get that purple cape. 11. Status flex. The entire system of skins, titles, and master-tier badges is dedicated to status signaling. Why buy the plain sword when you can buy the flaming, diamond-encrusted sword? Because the flaming sword broadcasts status to everyone on the server. This is the trap that weaponizes social comparison to drive spending. Now you're buying a temporary feeling of being the coolest kid on the playground. And since status is fleeting and always has a next level, you're trapped on a treadmill, running faster just to keep up with the Joneses, who are also digitally indebted. The game is just a digital popularity contest and the developers are selling the winning trophies. 11. Sunk hours. Oh, the quiet dread of realizing you've spent 1,000 hours grinding every single night on one game and you hate it now. Maybe the new update stinks or you're bored, and then the crushing weight of the sunk hours hits you. I remember grinding for a legendary sword for a solid month. It was the most miserable month of gaming ever, and when I finally got it, I was done with the game. But I couldn't delete it, because deleting it meant admitting having wasted my life up to this point for nothing. So you feel an emotional obligation to the digital history you created, a history the developers knew you'd feel before they even coded the game. 12. Whale hunting. The average player spends maybe $5 a month, but a tiny group of players, the whales, spend thousands. This means that all the top-tier items are priced so ridiculously high that a normal person would never buy them. But they're perfectly positioned for the one guy who can drop a month's salary to instantly become the strongest person in the game. The game is designed to be barely profitable from 99% of its users, knowing that the remaining 1% of high spenders, the whales, will cover the entire development cost. You're just the plankton they use to create an ecosystem to exploit individuals with poor impulse control or addictive tendencies to feel important enough to keep spending. And there you have it. Every single trap games use. Look, the game itself is fine. It's designed to be fun, obviously. But the monetization structure? That's not a game. They made the grind miserable and then sold you a shortcut. They made your progress slow and then sold you a booster. They made you feel poor and then sold you a status symbol. It's the difference between a hobby and a business model. Hit that subscribe button if you've ever had to stop what you were doing to collect a damn daily login bonus. And let me know in the comments which one of these got you the worst.